Good evening, learners. Welcome to Microsoft Security System Administration. I'm Ryan Bardis, and I'll be your instructor for this MSA class. Today, we'll see how servers and clients work together to make a Windows environment. Later on, we'll gain some practical knowledge in Microsoft Defender, BitLocker, and Firewall. By the end of this course, you will understand the basics of Microsoft's infrastructure and be able to implement and maintain secure Windows environments in various professional roles. I'm really excited to get started with all of you and explore the ever-evolving world of cybersecurity together. A little bit about me. I've been working in the information technology field for the last 20 years and in cybersecurity deep dive for several years now. I've had the privilege of wearing many hats along the way. I started with ThriveX in 2021 while leading a team Fort Meade, Maryland, on an NSA-driven cyber mission. My professional journey includes time in the military, where I completed a 445-day cyber mobilization as infrastructure manager. Currently, my day job is the primary information security custodian for the Indiana National Guard. On the academic side, I've earned my Master's of Science in IT, focusing on how programs like this are shaping the future of the cybersecurity education. Cybersecurity is one of the fastest growing and most impactful fields today. Every company, organization, and even individual relies on technology, which means understanding how to protect systems and data isn't just a job, it's a critical responsibility. My goal in this course is to give you the skills, tools, and confidence to tackle real world challenges, whether that's analyzing vulnerabilities, defending networks, or even launching into ethical hacking. This will be a hands on, interactive course, so be ready to dive into simulations, labs, and collaborative discussions. Don't ask, please ask me questions, challenge ideas, and even share your own experiences. I want this to be a learning environment where everyone feels comfortable and inspired to contribute. Lastly, I'm not here just as your instructor, but also as your mentor. If you have questions about the course, career paths, or anything cybersecurity related, don't hesitate to reach out. Let's make this class a space for growth and curiosity. I look forward to getting to know each of you and seeing what we can accomplish together. Let's get started in about 30 seconds while I trade out the screens and you pull up the class slides from Canvas. All right, see you in a moment. So we're looking here inside Canvas. We have our digital skills.infrastructure.com. We pulled up the modules. We're looking here at Windows environment. This is module 1.2. I invite you to follow along the slides with me. I'll move this into full screen for visibility on your side. We're going to look at the differentiation between Windows client and server. We're also going to identify different Windows operating systems and their versions. Looking at the Windows client, client is often graphic user interface, GUI. That's good for limited network capabilities. Think of the end user, whereas the server supports roles like web hosting and virtualization. I think of database management. You're going to have robust tools for resource sharing and centralized administration. So the clear differentiation between the client and server is that the server is going to be used for up to enterprise level. Think of multiple users come together for the server, whereas the client is going to be your end user experience. Thinking about the security perspective on the client, we have things like your Windows Defender and your firewall for individual system protection. Whereas on the server, you're going to see those enterprise workload being managed by Credential Guard, shielded VMs, and enhanced role-based access controls to secure the entire network. We'll look at more of those in the labs here in the coming classes. Another example of the operating systems on the Windows is 10 and 11. Which of those do you like better? Yes? I like 11 right now. I have a newer computer. One of the considerations for 11, you need at least 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage. And so a consideration is if your computer's older, you may not be able to handle the newer operating system. There's several considerations that we'll see. Another consideration here on the Windows uh, is the architecture. We'll talk a little bit about that. So in summary, the difference between client and server is the server is managing networks and providing for shared services in a multi-user environment. So together, they form the backbone of this Windows ecosystem and organization known as the Windows environment. We talked about the different operating systems, 10 and 11 being the most common, the most popular. They started off in 1985 as when the GUI first became available. Uh, Features like being able to snap in the windows certainly was not an option when they got started. Interesting, the start menu, when they took it away in Windows 8, made some people really concerned. Windows 8, they attempted to go touchscreen, and that has a whole slew of challenges. Some people ask, why is there not a Windows 9? And I did a little research. One of the reasons is they didn't want to have any confusion with previous Windows 95 or 98. The other is that Windows wanted to reinvent itself, just start clean. Windows 10, the idea as that came out in 2015 was it was a new beginning. So let's go here, Windows 7, start there. That launched in 2009. After a mixed reception of the Windows Vista, Microsoft needed a hit, and oh boy, did they deliver with Windows 7. They brought back that Windows classic Windows feel with a modern touch. So as of January 2020, this operating system uh, came to its end of support and can no longer be patched. That causes challenges. Uh, the end of support for Windows 7 means that uh, any new vulnerabilities that come out are not able to be fixed. Thinking from a cybersecurity perspective, what do we do if we have a system with known vulnerabilities? It means the bad guys can get to it. We're not able to fix it. It all the more needs the upgrade facilitates that mandate to move into a newer operating system. So let's look at the Windows 8 that came in 2012 is a bold attempt to move that desktop, and the touchscreen didn't really take off. And then we came in 2015 with this Windows 10. Windows 10, Microsoft had learned from its mistakes, combined the best of the Windows of 7 and 8, and the Start menu made its triumphant return, blending classic navigation with its live tiles. Windows 10 also introduced your Cortana, the virtual assistant, and your Microsoft Edge, its own the replacement for the Internet Explorer. And let's not forget Windows Defender, which turned out into this robust built-in security tool. Uh, Windows was able to allow security to be at the cornerstone, be in the forethought of the way it was designed. So Windows Defender was able to come in as a secure option, which really is what was needed for the industry. Windows 10 had marketed Windows as the latest version of Windows because it followed Windows as a service model, meaning it would receive regular updates instead of entirely new releases. That way, they could do small patches as vulnerabilities were released or determined, and that would negate that need to have a whole new operating system. So they were changing the way that it was improved through the generations, the different versions. And then we look at Windows 11, just released here in 2021. The version feels like Windows got a fresh coat of paint. It's sleek, it's minimal, and it's built for modern devices. The center start menu went to the center of the screen and had these snap layouts which helps with people being able to do multitasking. And we mentioned a little bit earlier about how it needs 4 GB of RAM. Another consideration is the TPM, the Trusted Platform Module. It's a hardware security chip designed to enhance system security, but the computer needs to have TPM hardware to run the Windows 11. So again, we're looking at that trade-off of, do we have the right hardware available for the operating system that we want to install into it? Those are some considerations. I'm going to give you a quick stretch break. Please put into the chat if you have any questions for me, any thoughts for this. I'm going to transition now into the lab so we can do a hands-on lab. Opening up TDX Arena. This guacamole, we're going to connect. Guacamole is the server that we're running from. You see the URL cywar.hackeru.com. That allows us to log into the practice arena. Within the practice arena, we are staying inside the Microsoft Security System Administration, and we're going into the Active Directory and Group Policy. I'm going to give this a refresh, make sure that we are loaded up correctly. This may take up to 30 seconds. I invite you to have this set up before we start our class. As of now, we're moving. We have, depending on bandwidth, and I found that sometimes in the evenings, setting this up prior, like if you have this as a tab, knowing that we're going to do some labs later in the evening is a good way to prepare all the things that we can do to make sure that we're on the same page. If at any point you want me to pause, slow down, explain, please do. I want you to be the brains, and I will be the clicker for you. I will be the hands on the lab, and you talk through, tell me what you're thinking about what to do next, and I will facilitate the movements here on the screen for you. As we become experts and we see these pop-up windows, I really encourage you to take a moment and read through the pop-up windows. You see this where it says, do not show this message again. That's an option once we've had the opportunity to read. So looking at this server manager, remember we saw the difference between server and client. We talked a little bit about that in our PowerPoint slides previously. Now we're getting into the lab. We're seeing try managing servers with Windows Administration Center, where the Windows Admin Center brings together new and familiar features. One browser. So we're all working here. I'm using Chrome right now, but we could use Microsoft Edge. We could use any browser. It's an internet portal. We're using a browser-based app, and we're running a server on a PC. So there's no additional cost for the Windows license here. Close out the server manager and give you a quick orientation. We saw server manager dashboard. Notice here there's 4 tabs here. Manage tools. We'll come in here to tools very soon. View and help. Looking at the instructions on the far left, we see we are going to create and manage Active Directory objects. It says welcome to creating and managing AD. AD, remember, is Active Directory. We're creating AD objects in the lab. In this lab, we will explore how to create, configure, and manage Active Directory objects and practice assigning permissions and applying specific group policies to manage domain resources efficiently. This is the type of job that you might do as a network administrator. If you have some new employees in the company and you want to bring them in, you give them a profile. We're going to navigate between the systems using these shortcuts, the window server and the window client environment. Here's the window client. It takes a moment to connect to the server. This is the end user. It auto-populated with a splash screen of PowerShell. We had our command prompt. You see we have a browser available. And what we are going to do is go into the Windows Server. When accessing the Windows Server, be aware it takes 2 or 3 minutes. We are comfortable there. See if those are yellow already. We're just going to reset the lab so we get to see our progress as we move along. Looking now at the first task in the Active Directory users and computers on the Windows Server. Navigate to the cyber.local domain. From there, create an organizational unit. People in the field will refer to this as the OU. We're going to create an OU named Sales. As we look inside Server Manager on the dashboard, in the 4 tabs, we see Tools. Clicking on Tools, we see we have options within Active Directory. Looking down at the 5th option, we have Active Directory Users and Computers. Clicking on this opens up an additional window. You see the domain listed. Domain here, cyber.local. And what we want to do is right click on with the cyber local domain highlighted. And we're going to create a new, yeah, that's right, organizational unit. Thank you. And we will name this capital S A L E, yeah, sales. Thank you. I appreciate your input. We see our sales has been identified here. And once sales OU has been created, we are done with task 1. We click next here to get credit. All right, great. We are doing well. Pause me if you are anywhere else in the lab than here. Maybe you were able to look at this before. Give me a thumbs up if you're doing well. All right, need me to slow down? Give me a side. No? Okay, good. Thumbs up, everyone. All right. Looking inside the OU, we're going to create salespersons. We're going to create users, and this salesperson, it could be Bob, it could be anyone's name, Eva, George, it could be anyone's. Right now, we're going to use the term salesperson. So we right-clicked on Sales OU, clicked on New, and then we want to, oh, we have a connection issue. Shouldn't be a problem. Reconnect. Okay, this can happen anytime, anywhere. We reconnect and we continue on. We can reset this. We can redo it again. Practice makes not perfect. We never will be perfect, but proficient. So right now we are connected. We're adding users by right-clicking on the OU, seeing new, and then clicking on user. The name salesperson, I do like to stay in that cap sensitivity of what is illustrated as a practice. You could tab. I'm using the cursor and the mouse. I want to go down here to user log on name. Again, salesperson. And we will click next. So we're going to the next window of this wizard. And this password, really focus, pay careful attention. This is a capital P, little a, dollar sign, little w, 0, RD. We'll type in this password 2 times. Sure that the user must change the password at next login is unchecked. Unchecked and move to next within the wizard. All right, we did it. Salesperson 1, within they have an email at cyberlocal, and we finish. We have established the first salesperson. To do salesperson 2 and 3, we go through the same process. Someone else in class, uh, please guide me through what we would be doing. I will listen as you describe the steps of what should occur. All right. Go ahead and read off the password. All right. Should we keep it? Anything else need to be changed? All right. You see the process, and we would do the same for salesperson 3, and then receive credit for completing the task and move on. I really enjoy this time. I think, in the sake of time, of brevity, right now we are going to pause. I thank you very much for considering my application to be a lead cybersecurity instructor with ThriveX. I'm deeply passionate about the field of cybersecurity for a multitude of reasons, and I believe that my experience and dedication to teaching can help empower the next generation of professionals and help improve our cyber defense posture. All right, thank you for listening to my audition, and look forward to sharing with you again very soon and very often. Bye.